Hello everyone, Bashar here. So, as you know, we have been waiting for patch 261 in which the Bloodsoaked content was going to get nerfed. And they did, but still they are very mighty. So my build variant was, the one I have a guide for. It was a little bit off, right? I worked at it. I'm not going to say a little, I worked a medium amount at it, right? And I improved it quite a bit, I would say. And, I wanted to, do the Bloodsoaked content. So, in this video, as you know, I do not have the ability to, cut whatever. So you will be seeing deaths, right? Feel free to laugh, but, you will see the real potential of the build. So I think I will be able to manage all of them, but I might also die. Okay, so that one's the hardest. Let's go with easiest first. And easy, I use the term loosely. It's not gonna be easy. Okay, so the problem with this is that this build is squishy and these bosses have extreme amounts of damage, so it's generally more like, kill before you can be killed. Because, I am going to be killed. Okay. Sorry about these coughs, they didn't go away. Okay, the butcher show up. His ugly face. As you can see, was that like a... It was a few percent HP, right? I mean, that's where I came back from. Almost died, yeah. And that is one of the easier ones. And, take a look at the number of drops. It is, like a full inventory's worth of drops or something like that. Okay, let's grab the stuff. This is the first time I ever got 2 mythics in the game, right? They can give you 2 mythics. I mean, it's like basically like a 2 boss drop, right? Because they give you like 2 runes. Okay, so that is one out of the way. The Beast in Ice is out of the way. I'm just doing the ones I have sigils for. Okay, let's not waste time with these, I guess. Just immediately salvage everything. Okay. Please. Oh. Aspect improvement. Nope, not. You don't care. I mean, I think I am only missing one aspect. That's another simple one. As I said, simple is, as I like to say, it's in air quotes. Simple. So, the easiest ones are the basic 4, right? Zir, Grigor, Varshan, and Beast in Ice. Those are relatively easy. The hardest I found, I'm not counting the Butcher because Butcher is actually on, an additional plus 15 of difficulty. So Butcher is the hardest by far. I don't think I can pull Butcher off. I'm not gonna try, but hardest one amongst the plus 35 ones, I believe, is the... Okay, that was a little bit better. The hardest one I did was, I believe, was the Harbinger. Okay. By the way, guys, for some weird Blizzard bug, oh, that's the first time I get one. I mean, a mythic from these chests. Was that Doombringer? Wow. Okay, I suppose that's a nice trophy to keep. Cute. And he's going to interrupt me, okay. Alright. So the 4, then comes, I believe, Urivar. And then, Duril and Daryl, those are pretty nasty. Okay. Okay, I'll just store this, I guess. That's the second Doombringer I get in the season, okay. Let's just say whatever and go. Okay, so where do we go next? Okay, Urivar is next. Then we have the uglier ones. So in here, the difficulty jumps up by a little, and then the difficulty is going to jump up by not a little, and then finally on Harbinger, it's going to be insane. You know, there are those simple regular melee swings, right? With the Harbinger, those regular white melee swings deal like 80% to me. Yeah. It's a little insane. But by the way, the build has been, you know, improved very significantly. Like it. Whoa! Did you see that? Again, I was like, you know, 1% or something. Okay. So there is that. Ah, Doombringer from the Doom Crucible, eh? Wow, by the way, I just noticed. Doombringer from the Doom Crucible. Ha. Okay. Okay. Still have ancestral stuff on the ground? So no more ancestral. Okay, now we are going to go for, you know, I didn't want to, you know, mislead anyone or anything, right? I just want to show you whatever I can. And as I said, I don't believe that I can handle the Butcher on Torment 4 right now, because as I said, it is one difficulty higher compared to the others. Okay, let's go. And Daryl? So by the way, this rotation, I'm going to make a build guide for this one, because this is not the one that you see in my build guide. This has been improved, and you know, if it was only a little bit of improvement, I wasn't going to do a separate build for it, but you know, there are actually a lot of changes, so I wanna do a guide on this separately. Okay, so this one was very bad last time I was here, but you know, that was quite some time ago. Yeah, that poison is unhealthy. Yeah, just doesn't end. Yeah, I mean, as you can see, pretty distasteful. And the thing is, you know, my experience saved me there, because you know, when you get poisoned, you do not expect a poison that would deal more than 400% of your health, but you know, you have to potion back to back. Another mythic. Wow, that's really interesting, guys, because you know, my season experience was like getting like 4 mythics or something like that in total, right? And we have gotten 2 mythics here. No, not 4, probably 5 or 6 maybe. I have been exaggerating there. Okay, so what about this? Ah, Shaco. Good old. Never got it this season. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna store it. Not that it's gonna do anything. So these are just going to be worthless the next season. I mean, I'm not even playing Eternal, but even if I did, because we have the expansion coming and the power level is going to go up from 800 for sure, but still, as you can imagine, I cannot bring myself to, you know, do away with it. Okay, so next up we have Duriel. So, you know, as I said, this is probably like 2.5, 3 times the damage, probably even more of the variant that you saw me playing. You know, we have more Paragon points, we have different glyphs. The big gear has been improved a little, as you can probably tell from my gold, and this is after having traded a little bit, right? I spent like 5 billion or so on gear. Not a huge amount, but so I wanted to be able to do these. Let's see how this goes. Okay, so Duriel does something very annoying, which can perfectly kill us. Okay, if you get caught in that one, it does kill you. Okay, I'm dead. I didn't die. How come? Wow. But guys, you see how close it is, right? And the thing is, I'm going to venture a bold claim here, and even, you know, much stronger players than I am will be getting these near deaths. So they will kill much faster, but the survivability of the build doesn't go up much. And the thing is, it's also not much to begin with in the first place, right? Because the build is very squishy and we do not have access to, a barrier. That's a huge problem. Oh, we did get a great graphics Griswold. Let's take a look at that. And finally, we have the hardest one of them all. Break the line, great graphics. Let's not waste time. Let's not waste time and go to the one with the bounty on it.
See some steel you need.
Proselytizing aspect. Okay. Oh, that's actually the aspect for Aura Paladin, which I haven't done. All right. So finally we have, this fine fella. So, in there, as you saw, I was able to take very little amounts of damage in the previous ones, right? I could take some damage and I could survive, right? With the Harbingers, that is not the case. You are just not allowed to take damage. And, when that includes the regular melee swing, I was mighty surprised because even back then, when the content was extremely hard and people were doing Überlidith, I also tried my hand a few times. Obviously, I couldn't manage. And even then, we could take her regular melee swings, right? I mean, that was one of the very few abilities that you could tank. None in here, right? Now, as I said, about 80% or so. So, and it kind of defeats the idea of bossing, that I'm used to, because there should be abilities that you should be able to face tank. In here, there is none. Sadly. Did he stun me? Okay, that ability is lethal, and as you saw, casual amounts of damage, nothing big, only 80% or so. And another thing, and very big. And guys, this was, I'm not going to claim that I'm any good or anything, but that was experience, right? I would have died a million times. I did get kicked in the face quite a lot here. So, it was actually flawless, right? I mean, I did get a billion near-death experiences, but I actually didn't die. But you can see how close it is, right? The smallest mistake, right? I mean, damage range going a little bit higher, I could have died, but we managed. Is that a... No. Which one is the 4GA? Which one is the 4GA helmet? I'm curious. Is it the God Slayer? No. Which one is it then? I did pick a 4 Great Graphics helmet off the ground. Okay, anyway. I mean, I thought... Oh, it's the God Slayer, okay. I don't know if it's playable. Crown of Lucian has been buffed, and I think it's a little bit playable this season. Maybe Barbs use it or something. But, not the case. Okay. I do have an Ancestral Boots on the ground. Let's grab that. Okay, so that's about it, guys. And as you can see, in its current form, it can handle, but the survivability is a huge problem. I would not recommend that you try this build, on a low Paragon level. I am on 270 Paragon and I have 306 points to spend. And I wouldn't suggest, anything that's below a 250 or so. So why do I say that? Because, you are going to get some additional points, and those points are going to make a difference in your survivability. So, I have the flasks now. So my default toughness is around 120,000 when I'm in town without any buffs. With the flasks and the incense, it goes up to 127k. I would definitely not suggest, undertaking these with anything below 100k. Now, a friend of mine has done it, and he just gets one-shotted, right? Because you saw how close it gets, right? And even though the toughness goes up during fights, it's going to be percentage scale, and I mean, you are going to be about 25% more squishy than I am, and you saw how close it got. That would mean those would be killing you. And the thing is, maybe at some point I made a mistake, blah blah. But the thing is, mostly those were one shots, right? From full health, you would drop to like 10%. So if you have 100k toughness, that's lethal. So you have to have the survivability. I mean, I would suggest about 110k or so. And the gems, I would suggest the gems that I use. I think I have the camera up here. I have an emerald in the amulet, emerald, diamond, emerald, ruby, and topaz. Because we have The cold damage is very rare this season, so you don't need that. Physical, we have enough armor reduction from there, and the blocking, that sort of thing, it's fine. Yeah, so that's about it. As I said, I will be doing a special guide for this, and I will see you guys in another video. Bye bye.